Hey everyone, I'm Laura. Welcome to my channel. And if you're looking for inspiration to make some fun, whimsical wire crafts, you've come to the right place. Now my goal here is to inspire you. So I suggest that you add your own special flair and touches to the projects that I share with you here. And on that note, just so you know, I have a Facebook group, which is the perfect place for you to do so, and it is Laura's Art School, and I will leave the link to that in the description below, so please post your photos. I absolutely love to see you guys' projects. Now don't forget to give me a thumbs up and a comment, of course, and then there's that little detail about subscribing. I would absolutely love to have you subscribe as well. All right, and the notification bell is pretty important. It lets you know in a timely manner when I do have new projects to share with you, such as these beautiful Morse Code bracelets. The materials we are using for our Morse Code bracelets is a variety of beads here, and I've also got a couple of charms, and then I've got just a leather bracelet, and this just came from Michael's, and there's no tooth in this, so I quite like these because they're super easy to put on just by yourself. So if you don't have a second set of hands to help you, they do up very easily. And then here I have a 26 gauge wire. Use whatever will fit through the holes in your beads. And then a pair of flush cutters and a couple pair of jewelry pliers. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to lay out our beads in the Morse code sequence, and this particular bracelet is going to say, I love you. And if you're looking for inspiration as to the phrases or the words that you would like to add to your bracelet, then go on to Pinterest and just do a search, and there's loads and loads of examples there, and that's where I got this one from. So all right, so I love you is our word or our pattern. So we start off with 3 jade beads here, and so we dots and dashes is the pattern used in Morse code. So this is quite obviously our dots and then our dash or our spacers. So we have 3 jade, and this is a hematite, these spacers here. And then we need 2 more jade there. And then 3 of our spacers or our dashes. 1, 2, 3. All right, and then we have 3 more of our jade there, and then 1 spacer, 1 jade, another spacer, another jade, and then we have 5 spacers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this one is looking a little round actually. Yeah, I think we'll just take one like this instead. Yeah, much better. Okay, so we got 5 of those, and then we have 2 more of our jade. And then, oh, I guess I'm going to use this after all. Yeah, and then 1 more at the end. Okay, so that is our pattern. Now with whatever, whatever strap that you're using or bracelet that you're using, you just want to make sure that your beads fit onto the strap nicely. Now this one here that I've done, which also says I love you, the beads are considerably larger than what these ones here are. So it covered almost the entire length of the strap on this bracelet, right? So if I had gone with any larger beads, I probably would have run out of room on the strap. So just be aware of that. It's pretty important. Okay, all right, so we have all of our beads here. So the next thing we're going to do is take our wire here, and I'm leaving it on the spool, as I do with so many of my projects. And then we're going to just start to string the beads. So to start, we have 3, and I'm telling you, it's a great challenge sometimes to find the holes in these. And so it appears as though I'm fumbling around, and well, in reality I am, but that is the bonus of using larger beads, is that you can actually see the holes much easier, most of the time anyways. So okay, so we have our 3, and then we have 1, and then we have 2. Now the Morse code was named after Samuel Morse, and there had been a telegraph system established before he actually was named the inventor, developer for the Morse code. However, it was 1844 when he was he refined it, and it became an actual mode of communication, and it was used in a lot of secret codes, secret messages, before it became a commonly used, use that term loosely, and yeah, it became what it is today. So it's kind of cool that it's been around that long. Now, with the stones here, in this one I'm using Jade and Hematite, and the Jade is a cleansing stone, and it's believed to have the properties to increase love and bring harmony in your life and good luck and release negative thoughts and stimulate ideas, and it's there's a lot of meaning behind it. And so if any of you guys are interested in the meaning of stones, I would say do a little bit of research before you actually choose your stones for your bracelets, and maybe tie them in with whatever phrase or word it is that appeals to you, and use those. It makes it just that much more special. And then the hematite is a protective stone. It's supposed to protect against negative energy and stimulate concentration, and is believed to aid in circulation problems. So some medicinal properties there as well. But the jade and the hematite just look really pretty together. It's quite a nice color combination. All right, so we have those strung on our wires. We're going to introduce our bracelet here, our leather bracelet, and we're quite simply, I can get rid of that, I'm quite simply going to take this end wire, and we're going to wrap it around our bracelet. Okay, give it one more for good measure. Pull that nice and tight so that it's on there good. All right, so laying our leather bracelet out here, and you can tape this too. Okay, you could tape it down if you need to. You can just string your beads along like so. And actually this one is looking a little bit shorter than what the topaz one is. So we're just going to scooch that down just a bit, so we have a little bit more room at the end of our bracelet. And that's just so that it sits more central on our wrist. Okay, so that's given us probably about an inch or so more space at the end there. Okay, once again, to backtrack. So then we're just going to lay this across there. All right, find out about where it ends here, holding onto it, and then we're just going to give it a couple of wraps. Okay, that's actually probably like three, three or four, so a few more than a couple. All right, and we had a little bit of a buckle here, so we're just going to backtrack a titch here. And that's exactly what we need to be watching for, right? Just a little bit of slippage there. Okay, there we go. So now we do that wrap. Excellent. All right, so that's what you got. And it is pretty loose on here, and this is where we're going to backtrack, and we are going to tack it in place. So giving ourselves lots of wire here. We're going to just we're wrapping around and tacking that bead in place with that wrap. Back around to the next one, same thing in between, and the next one there, and so on and so forth. So this comes together super fast. And just with the silver, it's just a very nice addition to this. Now on the other hand, if you had a gold or a brass end here, I would suggest going with that color of wire, just so it all ties in together. Not an absolute must do, but it certainly makes for a neater piece. So you see how lovely that all came together. Very cool. I quite love these. All right, so one more wrap, and then we're going to go in and we're going to snip this off. And because this is leather, these press so nicely into the material, like so. And then you can just give a nice squeeze together, just to finish them off here. Okay, that is so lovely. Isn't that pretty? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make some charms for our Morse Code bracelet. And so this is just a scrap of wire I brought in, and I think we're going to use probably about a 4 or 5 inch piece, and this is going to be plenty long. And all we do is we're going to make a loop on the bottom like so, and we're going to open it up and pop on one of our charms. In this case we're going to use the Buddha. And then we're going to string a few beads. And I've got a little bit of a hook on here. We want the beads to slide on easily. So I'm going to take a little piece of jade, a little jade bead, pop it on there, and then we'll do another piece of hematite. and then another jade bead. Very sweet, very nice. Okay, so then just to hold everything in place, we're just going to create a little bit of a loop here, and then we're going to set that aside. Okay, we're not quite ready to attach. So then we'll take our second piece of wire, and on the end we're just going to create just a little loop, and this is just going to act like a head pin. Okay, by that it's just there to hold the beads on. Okay, so teeny tiny little loop like that, and then we're going to just string on a few other beads. I like the hematite there, and then I'll do a little piece of jade. This actually is a larger piece of jade than what the other beads have been, and adds a nice variation. And then I really like this one here. It's kind of a cool looking bead. And then we're just taking, we'll do exactly the same thing that we did with this one here. So we're just going to create that temporary loop to hold everything in place. All right. So on our finished bracelet, what we want to do when we're adding the charms is to use the beads and the gaps in the beads to our advantage. So instead of wrapping these all the way around the bracelet, because we want a little bit of movement in them, a little bit of swing, right? So you just want to pop these in the gap between your beads. All right, so just choose a spot and then just slide it in there, pull all the way through. Okay, so you see that was our loop that we created, right, to hold it in place. So I'm going to pull that to close just a little bit more, and then holding on to that junction, I'm going to just take the wire on the end, and I'm just going to give it a couple of wraps to secure it in place here. Okay. Snipping that nice and close. We just press it flat. Run your finger along it. If you feel any pokey ends, you gotta just work that in there. Okay, that's awesome. So there is one, and you don't have to attach them in the same spot. I just kind of like them together. They just seem to complement one another if they are, but it is entirely up to you. And as far as that goes, you could add a whole bunch of little charms and just turn it into more of that kind of a bracelet as well. All right, so I'm going to stick this in the same spot. Right, grabbing hold of that as we did with the previous one. Hope you can see this. Gets kind of crowded in there. Okay, so we're holding on to it like we did the previous one, and then once again we just give that a few wraps. And that's just going to hold everything right where we want it. Okay, another snip there, and then once again we just press that flat. All right, there is our beautiful charms added to our Morse Code bracelet. So there you go, guys. There is our beautiful Morse Code leather, jade, and hematite bracelet, and it reads "I love you" in Morse code. And once again, there are endless amount of phrases or words or sayings that you can add to these. So run with it and have loads of fun. And if you do, please don't forget to check out the link below for Laura's Art School. That's my Facebook page, and you can post your projects there as well. So thank you so much for popping by and joining me to make this really cool Morse code bracelet. And don't forget to subscribe, leave me your comments. I love to hear from you guys. And for now, I want to say thanks again. I'm Laura, and I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you soon.